Happy new month Nakuru, and welcome to the Nakuru TV weekly news roundup. It is Sunday the 1st of June 2025 and Madaraka Day here in Kenya. It's the day that we Kenyans commemorate and remember that day in 1963 when we attained internal self-rule after being a British colony since 1920. My name is Patrick Kinyo Prince and this is the news. President William Ruto delivered a stirring Madaraka Day speech at Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay, celebrating Kenya's 62nd year of self-governance. Here are the key highlights. President Ruto hailed Kenya's economic stride, projecting the nation's GDP to reach $132 billion, solidifying its position as East Africa's largest economy. He credited the bottom-up economic transformation agenda for creating jobs and boosting local industries with a special focus on the blue economy. In Homa Bay, which holds 80% of Kenya's share of Lake Victoria, Ruto outlined plans to develop fish landing sites, provide skills training for fishermen, and promote conservation to drive economic growth, tourism, and food security. The president also celebrated a central bank rate cut from 13% to 10%, making borrowing easier for small businesses. He noted that foreign exchange reserves have climbed to $10 billion, extending import cover from 2.5 to 4 months, a sign of economic stability. Ruto closed with calls for unity and action, promising to deliver results and ensure no Kenya is left behind.
I thank you, Mr. President, and Your Excellency Baba, for coming together to ensure that no Kenyan is left behind through this broad-based arrangement. This is how we will tackle the challenges confronting us, by having everyone on board the Kenya prosperity ship.
We are also creating a more inclusive Kenya.
People should be united without any discrimination on the basis of gender, on the basis of tribe, on the basis of religion, and on the basis of culture. This is what our founding fathers wanted. I want today to say that we should do compensation to families of those who died and those who were injured, so that we can have a closure to this chapter of our national history today. We want Kenyans to live in peace and in unity.
Ile kazi bila break ndio tunachapa. Ni kweli ama si kweli, watu wa Homa Bay? Tuendelee ama tusiendelee?
Nakuru County marked 62 years of self-rule with a vibrant Madaraka Day celebration at Heroes Technical Vocational College in Bahati Sub-County, led by Governor Susan Keheka. The event was a colorful display of patriotism with performances from various groups capturing the spirits of Madaraka. Governor Keheka reflected on Nakuru's remarkable progress, highlighting the county's leadership in food, milk, and potato production, alongside restoration of Lake Naivasha and growth in the blue economy. She emphasized the advancements in healthcare with 15 new level 4 hospitals, over 3,000 health workers hired, and a steady supply of medicine. Farmers are thriving with access to seedlings, subsidized fertilizers, and artificial insemination services. The Kenya shillings 100 million Wesa Fund and modern market infrastructures are empowering youth and traders, while education has seen boosts with recruited ECD teachers, expanded classrooms, and Kenya shillings 432 million in bursaries. The governor was joined by Deputy Governor David Kones, Bahati MP Irene Joki, Nakuru Town East MP David Gekaria, County Commissioner Loyford Kibara, MCAs, and other leaders.
So now we are going to have 15 level 4 hospitals. Nilipoingia katika kuwa governor wa Nakuru, nikasema every sub-county must have a level 4 hospital, na nilipokuja kwa hii mliponipatia kazi nikakuta Subukia haikuwa na level 4, Kuresoi North haikuwa nayo, na Rongai haikuwa nayo. Nataka kuhakikishia hapa leo nishaanza kazi tunachapa. Subukia iko karibu kumalizika hiyo level 4. Kuresoi North imeendelea, iko katikati, na pia Rongai. Na hapa Bahati pia kwa level 4 hospital tunaendelea na partnership na Kingdom Seekers so that tuweze kuinua, na hapa karibuni mtafurahia what you will see. Tuko na 3,300 CHPs wako hapa leo. CHPs nawaona, na washukuru na nawatambua sana, sawa, kwa ile kazi mnafanya katika within our communities. We appreciate you and we shall continue to support you. Katika wezesha funds za county, sijui kama mliona nikilaunch funds za 100 million katika county. Simuliziona? Some of you here were beneficiaries. Hizo pesa ni za kuwapatia nyinyi kama groups, kama circles, kama cooperatives na self-help groups, so that vile nilisema nilipoingia kwa kazini, kazi ni kazi na lazima tuendelee kuwa support ili muwe na capital ya kuendelea kufanya kazi zenyu, muwe na access to loans without paying too much interest. Kwa sababu nilisema when we came into government tukiwa na Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto, tulikuja hapa Nakuru tukafanya economic forum, na tukaona one of the biggest problems yenye inafanya biashara zikufe ama zishindwe kugrow ni kwa sababu ya very high interest loans zenye mlikuwa mnachukua kutoka kwa Shylocks. Kwa hivyo nawaambia mkaribie, tuko na hiyo pesa, bado pesa imebaki. Tuliweza kupatia some cooperatives 5 million including moja hapa Subuki ya Suku cooperative, zingine huko Kuresoi, wengine hapa Bahati, Nakuru Town, Gilgil, Naivasha. Msibaki nyuma tafadhali, Rongai and everywhere. So there is still money, na tuna partner na KCB, na wamesema mkichukua hiyo 100 million yote na muweze kulipa ili another group inaipata. Hiyo tuko na very low interest ya 6% for the cooperatives na 8% for the entrepreneurs. Na mnajua kwa bank ni 18%, na that is even assuming mutapewa, kwa sababu pia nimeona Nakuru tuko wengi kwa CRB. So we need to repay so that we get more money. So KCB wamesema mimi nikiweka 100 million mchukue na muweze kuilipa, watanipea 500 times what I put. Kwa hivyo nikiweka 100 million wananipea 500 million zenyu za kuchukua. Na mimi wakinipea 500 million niongeze zangu from 100 million niziweke 200 million, tutakuwa na 1 billion shillings ya watu wa Nakuru kuweza kuchukua.
The Nakuru Trade Expo 2025 that was held from Thursday 29th May to Saturday 31st May at the Rift Valley Sports Club wrapped up successfully, bringing together over 100 exhibitors in a vibrant celebration of innovation. The expo showcased breakthroughs in agriculture, technology, manufacturing, and creative arts. BizLink's marketing executive director and one of the event planners, Mr. Joseph Namai, noted the event's success in highlighting cutting-edge technologies, enabling local businesses to compete on a global stage. Young entrepreneurs captivated audiences, pitching bold ideas to investors, while discussions on public-private partnerships and sustainable practices emphasized Nakuru's potential as an agri-business powerhouse. County Executive Committee member for Trade, Stephen Kuria, highlighted Nakuru's investor-friendly tax policies, reinforcing its appeal to local and international investors. With over 6,000 attendees, the expo sparked new business opportunities and collaborations.
Nia yetu ni kuweza kuleta wanabiashara pamoja kutoka sekta mbalimbali, wale ambao wana ubunifu wa mambo tofauti, wale ambao wamekuwa kwa biashara kwa muda mrefu, wale ambao wana invent vitu zingine ambazo hatujaweza kuona kwa hii kaunti yetu. Tunataka kuleta hizi sekta zote, wale wanabiashara wadogo ambao wanaanza na wale wamekolea kwa biashara, wamekuja kwa biashara, wote tunawaleta hapa ndio waweze kushirikiana na hizi biashara ziweze kuendelea. Na maana sisi ni watu wa Nakuru, tunataka kuona hii kaunti pia ikiweza kuleta investors zaidi kielekea kule mbele.
And today I'm very delighted as the CEC in charge of trade in Nakuru County to see the kind of exhibition that is going on here. We are very happy because also we have played a very big role And Governor Susan Keka also promised in her manifesto that she's going to make sure that she's creating an enabling business environment for businesses to grow and thrive and of course prosper. And this is a very, very good event to showcase that, to network, bring people together so that they can also exchange ideas. Therefore, as a county and as a department, we feel very delighted to have partnered with our partners here in showcasing this Trade Expo for 2025.
On 29th May 2025, Nakuru County Governor Susan Keheka launched the Kenya shillings 100 million Wesa Fund at ATC Soilo, a game-changing initiative to empower small-scale traders and cooperatives. The Nakuru County Enterprise and Cooperative Funds offers loans from 50,000 shillings to 200,000 at a low interest rate of 8% for enterprise and 6% for cooperatives. During the launch, 21 million shillings was disbursed to cooperatives including Olenguroni's Farmers and Sokoro Sacco, and 16.19 million to self-help groups and traders like Next West Boda Boda Group. Governor Kehika urged beneficiaries to manage the funds wisely and repay promptly to ensure more residents benefit. The initiative fulfills a pledge to boost local economic development and create jobs, positioning Nakuru as a hub for grassroots empowerment.
The transport sector circles, community health providers, karibu sana our CHPs na watambua, to our farmers, be it in milk, coffee, tea, avocado, potatoes, tomatoes, pyrethrum, and everything else that we grow in this county, to stand up and walk the journey of enterprise development. To entrench these two funds, we have ensured that they are anchored on funds acts and regulations that have been approved by the County Assembly of Nakuru. Oversight will be provided by a multi-stakeholder fund boards supported by the Department of Trade, Cooperative, Tourism and Culture. My government has so far allocated a total of 100 million towards these funds. We will be enhancing allocations to the funds in the coming years. Obviously, also based on your repayments. To ensure the two funds are in line with the goal of deepening access to seed money by MSMEs and cooperatives, the County Enterprise Fund is accessible to groups at an interest of 8% per annum, and currently we are issuing the affordable loans ranging between 50,000 to 200,000. On the other hand, the Cooperative Revolving Fund is accessible to cooperatives at an interest rate of 6% per annum, and SACCOs can apply for loans ranging from 200,000 to 5 million shillings. As we launch these funds today, 6 cooperatives have so far qualified for disbursement of 21 million shillings. 95 groups have so far qualified for disbursement of 16 million shillings. Many more applications are undergoing appraisal and the subsequent processing of the loans. And as you have heard from KCB themselves, the money is already there. It was waiting for this, and you can walk to the bank and get the money. For effective and professional management of the funds, we have partnered with KCB for proper appraising and disbursement of the loans. These revolving funds and the loanees are expected to repay the whole amounts loaned to them so that others can benefit from the funds.
Nakuru Town West MP Samuel Arama distributed bursary checks worth 27 million shillings to support day scholars in the constituency, marking a significant boost to education in the region. The event held in Nakuru saw MP Arama joined by Deputy County Commissioner, Assistant County Commissioner, chiefs, parents, and key education stakeholders. Governor Susan Keheka was represented by the County Executive Committee Member for Trade, Stephen Kuria, and Political Advisor, Mr. Joroge. The bursaries aim to ease financial burdens for families, ensuring students can continue their education. Parents, visibly grateful, praised Nakuru West NGCDF Leadership Committee for proving its commitment to education and pledged support for area MP Samuel Arama and his exemplary leadership and dedication to the community.
Hapa Nakuru West Secondary School imepata 3,558,000 makofi. Moi Secondary School tu wacha nisema hapo kuja kuchukua. Moi Secondary School imepata 2.9 million. Tumaini House imepata 2.8 million. Afra imepata 2.7. Kenyatta Secondary School imepata 2.5. Ranga ile shule inafanya mzuri zaidi 2.3 million. Nakuru Day Secondary School imepata 1.9. Mwariki Secondary School imepata 1.3. Nimefurahi sana Mwariki kwa sababu Mwariki ni watu yangu sana. At least leo wamepata pesa, hata mimi nimefurahi. Kwa sababu wakipata namna hii mimi najua Mwariki ni tunaita tarakaniti. Ndio wale wanapiga kura bila kuuliza wewe ni chama gani, au wanapiga kura tu wanataka maendeleo. Hata niliwapelekea rami huku wanaenda kuangalia.
Residents of Bahati constituency in Nakuru will this week gather for a critical security meeting to address rising concerns over local safety. The meeting that will be held in Bahati will bring together MP Irene Njoki, security officials and residents from Bahati's 5 wards, which are Dodori, Kabatini, Kiamaina, Lanet Umoja and Bahati wards. This comes after incidents like the tragic murder of a Form 2 student earlier this year, which prompted MP Njoki to demand swift investigations. Residents are calling for increased police patrols, community policing programs, and efforts to tackle youth unemployment, seen as a key driver of insecurity. MP Irene Njoki has reaffirmed her commitment to improving safety and development through ongoing infrastructure and youth empowerment projects. Locals are encouraged to attend and voice their concerns to help shape a safer Bahati. A heartbreaking tragedy has struck Nakuru County, where an 8-year-old boy, Maxwell Ndumia, lost his life while heroically trying to save his younger brother from a brutal knife attack by a neighbor. The incident, which occurred in Barnabas Estate, has left the community in shock and mourning. On the 23rd of May, Maxwell and his 4-year-old brother, Brighton Minor, were attacked at their aunt's home. According to their aunt, Teresia Modoni, the suspect, a man known to the family, inflicted severe injuries. Maxwell succumbed to a deep neck wound at Nakuru Teaching and Referral Hospital, while Brighton, who sustained cuts to his neck and shoulders, is recovering. The suspect fled with a 3-year-old girl, allegedly attempting to assault her before being apprehended by police after a local woman raised alarm. Nakuru East Sub-County Police Commander Samson Nadaje confirmed the suspect was arraigned in court with investigations ongoing. The community is grieving the loss of Maxwell, described by his aunt as a kind soul who dreamed of becoming a bishop.
Na tutaenda pamoja turudi. Asanteni.
Chaos erupted in Nakuru town's central business district on Thursday, 29th May, as armed matatu operators took matters into their own hands, chasing away suspected thieves from a busy matatu stage. The dramatic confrontation has sparked both concern and debate among residents. Reports indicate that transport operator, frustrated by repeated thefts targeting passengers and their businesses, confronted a group of suspected thieves at a key matatu terminus. Armed with makeshift weapons, the operator pursued the suspects through the CBD, causing panic and disrupting normal activities. Eyewitnesses say the scene was chaotic, with commuters scrambling for safety as the chase unfolded. Local police intervened swiftly, dispersing crowds and restoring calm. Authorities are investigating the incidents and have urged the public to report the crimes through official channels rather than resorting to vigilante action. Nakuru County officials have also called for enhanced security measures at matatu stages to prevent future incidents. Residents are divided, with some praising the operators for defending their livelihoods, while others warns of dangers of such confrontation.
Kuna wezi sana wamejaa Nakuru Town. Wezi wamekuwa wengi katika Nakuru Town. Ndio unaona tuko na hawa watu wetu, tunajaribu tuweze kusafisha huu mji wetu wa Nakuru Town ili town iwe safi, watu wanaposafiri wawe salama. Hii inaitwa Operation Angamiza Mikora. Operation Angamiza Mikora, linda Nakuru. Tunahitaji town iwe safi. Enda ingia kwa gari kama uko kwa mwaki. Enda haraka wewe.
The Nakuru chapter of the Democracy for Citizens Party, or DCP, held a vibrant aspirants forum in Nakuru County, rallying behind their leader, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. The event, held in Njoro yesterday, saw party aspirants and supporters come together to strategize for the 2027 elections. The forum focused on strengthening DCP's presence in Nakuru, with aspirants urging Kenyans to join the party and support its vision of inclusive leadership. Party members emphasized their commitments to addressing issues like poor governance, high taxation, and youth unemployment, echoing Gachagua's calls to listen to Kenyans. DCP Nakuru chapter also called for respect for Gachagua, condemning recent disruptions at party events, including a chaotic incident at their May 15th launch in Nairobi and a rally in Kakamega. They accused opponents of trying to portray DCP as a tribal outfit, a claim Gachagua has firmly rejected. With the party's official launch set for June 4th, DCP is ramping up its nationwide mobilization, aiming to challenge the ruling United Democratic Alliance in 2027. A tragic update from Nakuru, where 23-year-old M-Pesa agent Hannah Waithera was found dead on May 28, 2025, a week after she went missing. Waithera, who operated a mobile money shop in Nakuru CBD, was last seen on May 21st, heading to deposit over 250,000 in a bank. Her family reported her disappearance to the Central Police Station, sparking a search. Her decomposing body was later discovered in a maize plantation in Njoro, following reports of a foul smell, with some sources indicating it was found near a dam. The case, initially a missing persons report, has now turned into a murder investigation. Police are probing the circumstances of her death, with Waithera's phone last active in Kijabe, raising questions about what happened. The Nakuru community is in shock, demanding justice for the young woman.
Wewe suri nataka niongee na Sera, nimwambie akuje, hajakufa. Nimeona hajakufa, Sera hajakufa. Sitaipia nyasi ya kule mimi, sitaipia mtoto wangu nyasi ya kule. Oh ye mtani zaidi wajibi
East. Leo tumekuwa tukifanya follow up ya msichana ambaye aliyepotea, mmoja wa driver wetu bibi. So na tumeweza kumpata pale kwa Jack. Na saizi tuko mahali kunaitwa police station ya Kaptembwa, that is west. Na police station ya Kaptembwa wametupea some details na wakatuambia tunafaa kwenda Nakuru Central, sababu hapo ndio ripoti ya kwanza ilifanyika. Na kama kawaida serikali zetu zimeweza kutenga hizi mambo na police station, wameweza kuzitenga kulingana na wao wenye wanaelewa. So wakatuambia sisi tunafaa kwenda pale pale Nakuru Central ili tuweze kufanya follow up ambayo imebaki. So kwa saizi tumepata msichana na hapo kwa mochari kwa Jack, na yaaminika kwamba msichana alipatikana on Monday. So nalipotea Wednesday. So ameweza kupatikana Monday na alipatikana mahali kunaitwa Technology Farm. Hapo ndo walimpata katika nini ya ile ndio ya kuwekea ng'ombe maji akiwa amefunikwa na nyazi. Wakazi wapo wamesema kuwa harufu ndio iliweza kuwajulisha kuna kitu ambaye inaendelea si cha kawaida. Wakati walifika hapo kapata ni mwili ya binadamu na ndiposa wakaweza kuita polisi wakaweza kuchukua hatua na wakampeleka pale kwa Jack. Kwa saizi ni hayo tu. So tunaelekea pale Nakuru Police Station ili tuweze kujua ni nini inaendelea from hapo.
Tragedy struck Nakuru West Sub-County on May 30th, 2025 as another M-Pesa businessman was shot dead by armed robbers in Soilo, Nakuru County, marking a disturbing rise of violent crimes targeting mobile money operators. The victim, whose identity is yet to be disclosed, was attacked at his shop in Soil, a bustling area in Nakuru West. Armed robbers reportedly stormed the premises, fatally shooting the businessman and fleeing the scene. The incident follows the recent killing of a 23-year-old M-Pesa agent Hannah Waithera, who was found dead in Joro, and another deadly robbery in Menengai, where 25-year-old Enoch Chepkwony was shot. Nakuru police are investigating with concerns mounting over the targeting of M-Pesa shop. The community is calling for urgent action to address the growing insecurity.
Monica ni mkazi wa hapa wa Ielia. Ikiwa niyo masaa ya saa 2 jioni nilikuwa pale kwa ile salon nikishukana. Kutoka hapo nikasikia kuna mabishano kwa hii duka. Ndio na kelele nyingi kwa watu ambao wanapigana. Ndio tulitoka hapo tukaangalia, tukachungulia, tukafungua mlango, tukaangalia, tukachungulia. Tukaona kuna majama wawili walikuwa wanachapa huyo kijana mwenye alikuwa anauza kwa hiyo duka. Sasa kutoka hapo walibishana, wakapigana, wakamvuruta huku nje, wakampiga na mapanga, wakamkatakata. Sasa kutoka hapo ndio tulianza kupiga ndulu. Mwenye alikuwa ameshika bunduki alikuwa mahali pale hivyo, ndiye akamshuti mara ya kwanza. Sasa vile tulifungua mlango ndiye alishuti. Sisi tukafunga mlango, tukashindwa kutoka. Sasa vile tuliingia ndani tulisikia mlio wa marisasi. Kumbe jamaa amepigwa risasi akalala pale. Kutoka hapo ndio walipanda pikipiki yao, ilikuwa imepakiwa pale, wakaenda. Kwa wamejifunika chochote na walikuwa wamevaa tu kama kawaida. Hata kuingia waliingia kama ni customers. Yeah.
On 27th May 2025, the Ogiek community in Nakuru gathered at Mariashoni to commemorate the African Court's Judgment Day, marking 8 years since the landmark 2017 ruling by the African Court on Human and People's Rights in Arusha. The ruling affirmed the Ogiek's right to their ancestral lands in the Mau Forest, declaring evictions by the Kenyan government as a violation of their human rights. Despite this victory, the community expressed frustrations over the government's delay in implementing the decision, leaving their land rights unresolved. The event, themed Enhancing Access to Justice, featured vibrant community engagements and call for action, supported by organizations like the Ogiek People Development Program and the European Union. Leaders urged the government to honor the court's directive ahead of an upcoming implementation hearing.
Mimi naitwa Daniel Kobei, mimi ni founder director of Ogiek People's Development Program. Sisi hii siku hatuwezi sahau kwa sababu hata yale mambo wamefanya ya boundary tunaelewa, lakini sisi kama jamii bado ile mpango hasa ya kupeana customary title ama one title for the community bado haijafanyika. So sisi bado tunaambia serikali ya Kenya waweze kutekeleza mambo ya Arusha. Bado tunarudi kwa sababu ya implementation. Tarehe 4 mwezi wa 6 tutakuwa Arusha. Pali tutaenda kusikiza serikali na sisi. Na tayari serikali wameandikiana waseme implementation imefika wapi. Sijui watasema nini, wameweka boundary ama watasema nini, Hiyo ndio mambo tunatekeleza. Kitu ya kushangaisha tena, tumeona serikali wamepeana title ya Mao, Masai Mao, na jamii ya Ogiek wako pale. Sasa hatujui kama hiyo title tena itakawiwa jamii ama itaenda namna gani. Lakini sisi hatuwezi kufa moyo, tutaendelea kupigania haki na tuone jamii wamepata haki yao.
Nakuru County marked a significant step in road safety with new interventions rolled out across the region, as announced by the Nakuru City Board Chairperson, Mr. Stephen Muli. The initiative included the painting of road markings, a practical measure to protect safer driving, with a focus on urban areas where accidents have been a growing concern. These efforts aim to enhance visibility and guide motorists, reducing the risk of collisions. Mr. Muli emphasized ongoing collaborations with partners to address the high rate of road accidents, underscoring Nakuru's commitment to protecting motorists, pedestrians, and other road users. The county continues to lead in road safety following its pioneering of inter-county training program earlier this year. These measures mark a proactive step towards safer roads in Nakuru County.
Actually, this week tumekuwa na mkutano wa all the drivers and all the conductors pale Melea Resort. Na as vile waziri amesema wa uchukuzi hapa kwa county, tumeweza kuongelesha drivers wetu kuhusu mambo ya accident, kuhusu mambo ya nidhamu akiwa kwa barabara, na kuhusu pia mambo ya nidhamu akiwa anabeba abiria. Na tumeongea sana kuhusu mambo ya ulevi, tumeongea sana kuhusu mambo ya miandaradi, na tumeongea sana kuhusu lugha mbaya. Na saa hizi chama yetu hapa ya uchukuzi tumeweza kutafuta namba through Safaricom ambao iko in process. Tunataka hiyo namba kusambazia customers wetu ya kwamba ule driver anaongea bibaya ama anatusi customer ama ana nidhamu, anaendesha gari bibaya, customer anaweza tumia hiyo namba ili iweze kutufikia. Na vile mnaelewa ya kwamba maisha ya abiria inategemea driver wakati ako kwa gari. Driver akiwa na nidhamu, maisha ya abiria utakuta ya kwamba itakuwa imechungwa. Kwa hivyo sisi chama chetu hapa kwa kaunti yetu ya Nakuru tumeweza kuungana na tukaona ni muhimu na inafaa sana tuweze kuwa na namba ambao itakuwa ikicirculate to our customers, ili tuweze kupata zile gari ambazo zinakimbia, tuweze kupata wale madriver ambao wanaendesha wakiwa walevi na wale madriver ambao hawana nidhamu. Na tumeongea pia na gavana wetu kuhusu hiyo, na gavana ana support hiyo sana, na sisi tumeamua ya kwamba vile mmeelewa accident zimeendelea kufanyika, tunataka kupunguza accident hasa kwa hiyo upande ambao tunahusika. Na hii si ati mchezo, because tumekubaliana nao sako chairmans. Ule driver ana nidhamu aondolewe na jina yake ipeleka kwa NTSA aweze kuondolewa kabisa, sababu hatutaki kutransfer shida kwa shako ingine. Na tumetengeneza pia mtandao wetu wa communication to about drivers. Tunataka kujua who driver ametoka kwa hii sako, ameenda kwa hiyo sako, na ameenda kwa hiyo amefanya nini, ili ya kwamba hiyo mashtaka yote tukipeleka kwa NTSA iweze kuchukua hatua. Hii namba ya Safaricom for now itakuwa active for 2 weeks. Tumeambiwa tupeane 2 weeks, itakuwa active. Na pia unajua mambo ya sheria tu, hata kama anatafuta miraa, hiyo yote ni mambo na sheria. Tunampeleka kwa polisi na polisi wanamchukulia hatua. But sisi kando na kupelekwa pale, sisi tumechukua hatua ya kwamba sisi kama viongozi wa SACCOS, sisi tutakuwa tukimtoa kwa orodha ya drivers ili ya kwamba anaweza fanya kazi nyingine.
Nakuru's inaugural food fest was held on Saturday, 31st May, brought a burst of flavor and excitement to the city, delivering an unforgettable celebration of food, music, and culture. The event featured a mouth-watering array of cuisines from nyama choma and shawarma to Asian, Indian, and kienyeji, Turkish pizzas and burgers, showcasing Nakuru's rich culinary diversity. Attendees enjoyed cake tastings and vibrant performances that captured the festive spirit, making it a true feast for the senses. Local residents and visitors alike praised the event, with many calling it a highlight of the year, fostering community and cultural connection. Social media buzzed with excitement, with attendees sharing their joy at the delicious dishes and lively atmosphere. The food fest marked a milestone for Nakuru, setting the stage for more vibrant lifestyle events. Nakuru County proudly hosted the second International Day of the Potato on 29th May and 30th, 2025 at Kalro Marindas in Molo, celebrating the potato's vital role in food security and economic growth. Themed Shaping History, Feeding the Future, the event led by Nakuru County Agriculture CEC Leonard Bor brought together stakeholders like the Agriculture and Food Authority and KENAF. Exhibitors showcased innovative potato farming techniques, while discussions highlighted sustainability and economic opportunity in the sector. Over 100 participants engaged in vibrant exhibitions and insightful talks, emphasizing Nakuru's leadership in potato production. The event underscored the county's commitment to advancing agriculture through technology and collaboration, fostering brighter future for farmers and communities.
So today we are here in Nakuru County constituency. We are from Ministry of Agriculture with all the stakeholders, the county government of Nakuru, and all our partners, Potato Council, the CEOs here, led by the CEO of the researchers, and the people, or the exhibitors, and the aggregators of potatoes, just to celebrate the International Potato Day, which is celebrated across the world, because this particular value chain is the third one when it comes to the food system in terms of food security. So as Kenyans and as a ministry, we have joined hands with the Potato Council, the farmers, and all other stakeholders today here in Nakuru County to celebrate this International Day for this particular crop, which as a country also through the Ministry of Agriculture we are promoting.
Nakuru County celebrated a major milestone in education as Governor Susan Keheka commissioned 498 early childhood development and education teachers into permanent and pensionable position at ATC Soilo on Friday, 30th May. This brings the total number of ECDE teachers on permanent terms in Nakuru to 821, ensuring quality education access across all 55 wards. The initiative fulfills Governor Keheka's commitment to strengthening foundational learning, complementing efforts like construction of 127 new classrooms and rolling out the Uji feeding program. The governor urged the teachers to deliver exceptional service to shape young minds and prepare them for a brighter future. Local leaders and residents praised the move as a transformative steps for Nakuru's education sector.
Who are recruited this financial year of 2024-2025, the 192, and we have 306 teachers who are recruited in the financial year of 2022-2023 on contract terms. But in the financial year 2023-2024, we granted them permanent and pensionable terms. So more importantly, these new teachers who have been recruited through a competitive, merit-guided and transparent process. I want you to be proud of yourself. Hakuna mtu ameingia back door. You have earned your position. We are the highest paid in the country. Sitaki kusema kwa nguvu sana. Na mufanye your homework, you will see that. So not only have we brought you in as PNP, but we have brought you at a very good level. So please do us proud, because we shall continue to take care of your welfare. So in total, we have 821 ECDE teachers who are employed in PMP terms. And our plan as county government is to progressively reach and attain the required teacher-pupil ratio of 1 to 25. I never want to be thought of as a woman governor. I'm a governor. Sindio? But at the same time, as a woman, there's something extra. Sisemi nyinyi wanaume hamuleti. There's something extra on the soft side. Sindio? Soft side kidogo. So, and that is why when we came up with the Uji program, we worked so hard because the money was almost impossible to get. You know, utaambia mtu na nyinyi teachers, especially most of you have already been teaching. Sindio? So you know the difference that kikombe ya uji makes to that little child.
People living with disabilities, we have been discriminated so much. And since now we have been employed, we thank you so much. In Kuresoi, we are about 5 people living with disabilities, and we are much happy. Yes, you have given us a chance, and Kuresoi, I think now Nakuru County is observing the 5% of people living with disabilities.
Mimi nimefunza for 20 years, for almost 20 years, na sikuwa nimeajiriwa. But juzi venye nilipata barua, nilifurahi sana. Hata walimu wengine hawako wanajua bank, but now we are going to smile to the bank.
Architects in Nakuru are sounding the alarm over inadequate geological studies, warning that the lack of data could jeopardize the city's structural development. These concerns were raised during a recent meeting of the Architectural Association of Kenya in Nakuru. The president of the Architectural Association, Architect George Dege, highlighted the absence of comprehensive surveys to guide constructions in Nakuru City, which sits on unstable volcanic soil prone to fissures and subsidence, especially during heavy rains. Dege stressed that without proper data on ground-bearing capacity, buildings and infrastructure remain at risk. He called on the Nakuru County government to conduct a general survey and make this information public to ensure safe development. The warning comes as Nakuru City has registered increased development of modern high-rise projects across the metropolis. Experts note that the region's geological challenges, including fault lines and underground erosions, demand rigorous site analysis to prevent disasters. Kenya has lost a literary giant with the passing of acclaimed author and dissident Ngugi wa Thiong'o, who died aged. Kenya has lost a literary giant with the passing of acclaimed author and dissident Ngugi wa Thiong'o, who died aged 87 years on Wednesday in Beaufort, Georgia. Known for his powerful critiques of colonialism and post-independence elites, Ngugi's work reshaped African literature. He was born in 1938 under British colonial rule. Ngugi chronicled Kenya's struggles in novels like Weep Not Child, the first English-language novel from East Africa, and Wizard of the Crow, a satirical masterpiece. His decision to write in his native Gikuyu, starting with Devil on the Cross, penned on prison toilet paper during his 1997 detention, sent shockwaves through global literature, championing African languages over colonial ones. Ngugi's fearless criticisms of Kenyan government led to his imprisonment and over 2 decades in exile. Despite this, his works inspired generations, earning him international acclaim and frequent mentions for the Nobel Prize. Kenya's literary community and readers worldwide are mourning his loss, celebrating a legacy of resistance and cultural pride. In a heartwarming display of community spirit, personnel from the National Defense University Kenya, or NDUK, visited Israel Faith Children's Home in Lanet, Nakuru County, yesterday. The visit was part of the university's corporate social responsibility initiative aimed at giving back to the local community. During the visit, NDUK staff engaged with the children, offering support and donations to the home, which provides care for vulnerable kids. The university emphasized its commitment to fostering community ties and uplifting those in need through such outreach efforts. The children and staff at Israel Faith Children's Homes expressed gratitude for the support, describing the visit as a meaningful boost for their morale. The initiative highlights National Defense University Kenya's ongoing efforts to contribute positively beyond its academic and defense roles. Community leaders in Lanet have praised the gesture, calling for more institutions to follow suit. That's it for the Nakuru TV Weekly News Roundup. Be sure to catch us next week, same place, same time. From all of us at Nakuru TV, we wish you all a happy new month. See you next week.
Nakuru, speed and stability matter. That's why more homes and businesses choose Connect Data Networks, your trusted fiber internet service provider. Super-fast speeds, reliable connections, flawless video, streaming and downloads anytime, anywhere. Need help? We've got your back. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Connect Data Networks, Nakuru's #1 choice for fast, reliable internet. Call us today on 07309888111 and get connected with the fastest internet in Nakuru. In Nakuru, speed and stability matter. That's why more homes and businesses choose Connect Data Networks, your trusted fiber internet service provider. Super-fast speeds, reliable connections, flawless video, streaming and downloads anytime, anywhere. Need help? We've got your back. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Connect Data Networks, Nakuru's #1 choice for fast, reliable internet. Call us today on 07309888111 and get connected with the fastest internet in Nakuru.
Good evening, Nakuru, and welcome to Nakuru Tusemezane. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today. It is Friday, the 13th. We first of all apologize that we were not able to come live to you yesterday. This show normally runs on Thursday, every Thursday of the week on Nakuru TV, where we broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and today we are going live on Instagram as well. We are going live on TikTok. I don't know if my director can confirm to me whether we are live on TikTok yet. So asanteni sana for joining us today. Yesterday, because of reasons beyond our ability, we were not able to stream live as we were away on official duties. But welcome to the show. Today we are going to have a conversation about a meeting that happened in State House. This meeting had all Nakuru leaders, including Governor Susan Keheka, most of the MPs, MCAs, and grassroots representatives who met with President William Ruto at State House, Nairobi. That was on June 11th. And that particular meeting focused on development priorities for Nakuru, improved service delivery, and national county collaboration for our county. Discussions actually highlighted Nakuru's development milestones and addressed security concerns, with President Ruto issuing warning to criminal gangs in the region. Of course, there were some criticisms, and part of those criticisms are what we are going to also talk, because there were also claims that leaders prioritized personal gains over issues like poor roads, health facilities, and education in areas like Kuresoi and Maimahiu. But beyond that, I think it was a good meeting. And today, to help us also unpack the discussions that happened in State House, we have Linda Kageha. Now, I want to first of all try and introduce Linda. I know Linda for quite some time, but I know her wearing different hats. And so for purposes of this conversation, I'm sure she's going to explain to us who she is in less than a few minutes before you do the introductions. But remember, we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. Please send us your comments, send us your views, send us anything on the comment section. We'll be reading some of your feedback as we progress within the show. So welcome, our dear guest. Please kindly introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Okay, thank you for hosting me, Nakuru TV. Thank you, Patrick. My name is Linda Kagea. Kagea is a director at Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nakuru chapter. Chamber of Commerce is a non-profit organization that lobbies and advocates for a business-friendly environment for the business community. Apart from that, I actively engage in leadership matters. I'm a leader, and I believe in myself as a young woman. I seize opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So you've mentioned that you're a director in
Yes.
the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Could you briefly explain to us what that is and what it does and how you became a director at such a young age?
Okay. Okay. First of all, at Chamber of Commerce, I started off at a lower position. I started off as an administrator, and after staying for some time, I improved myself. I improved my leadership skills, and when the elections of the Chamber of Commerce for directors were due, I went for the directorship position. And to be a director, you must be a member of Chamber of Commerce. And my leadership position at the Chamber of Commerce is also led by my passion in business, area, whereby is what I've learned or what I've practiced in school.
Okay.
Yes.
Asante sana for that very good introduction. Linda Kageha is the director of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Nakuru chapter. And so we delve deep into what we chose to discuss today.
Yeah.
So there was that recent State House meeting between Nakuru County leaders
Yes.
and opinion leaders,
Yes.
religious leaders, and also political leaders
Yes.
in State House on 11th.
Okay.
Now, basically what we wanted is to help unpack some of those conversations that happened there. I know it was a closed-door meeting organized by the Nakuru County Governor, Susan Keheka.
Yeah.
And more or less, I feel like there was very good representation in terms of the people who attended.
Yeah.
I noticed that, I don't know if it was by design or it was intended, but this meeting was not for ideally those people you'd call supporters of the president. I saw opposition figures, I saw people who do not really align with what President Ruto is doing or his manifesto. People sharply opposed to Ruto from Nakuru here, but they were also welcome. And I saw them listening keenly to what was being discussed. So maybe just help us understand how that came to be, if you're involved in that process of getting all these people, and how that meeting was for you before we go deep into the details.
First of all, I would love to thank the President for receiving the Nakuru delegation. It is not a normal thing to receive a delegation in the State House.
Yes.
And in Nakuru, like the way our county works, we have a lot of opinion people. And we have a lot. We have
opinionated people.
Yes, and we have structures that can be used to mobilize. That is why you found that there were different people in the meeting. There were not specific people from one area, and our leadership was used to mobilize the people, those invitees who went to State House. That's why you saw there are people, even those who are not, those who are
Ideally not
pro,
supporters of the
those
president,
who are
yes.
not supporting president's maybe manifesto. But I believe after the meeting, some of them changed their opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that is what happened. This meeting happened in State House, Nairobi. We had local leaders, we had politicians, we had opinion leaders,
Youth leaders,
and youth leaders,
women,
and women. And even in that meeting, I remember hearing that the president said, of all the delegations he has met in State House,
yes.
that was by far the biggest delegation he has ever hosted.
In agreement.
And so it also speaks to how that whole thing was organized, and also just trying to get a representation of the diverse people from Nakuru County.
Sure.
So now, of course, there were issues that were discussed in that meeting.
Yes.
First of all, I'd want you to give a recap of what you remember about Susan Keheka's speech during that particular meeting, maybe.
Okay, what I remember about our governor lobbied for Nakuru. Some of the projects that she lobbied for is the completion of Afraha and Olenguroni Stadium.
Yes.
Another lobby was the dueling of Rironi Mausamit Road. Another, let me just check on some of my points.
Yes.
And then the completion of the trauma center that is at PGH. That was another lobby that she did. And then the revival of Itare Dam. You know, Nakuru is a water scarce city, and we've been lobbying for water so that we can get clean and safe water. So she lobbied for the completion of Itare Dam so that areas like sub-counties like Rongai and other nearby sub-counties can benefit from clean and safe water. And then there was also the establishment of she talked about the establishment of the economic zones, which will not only improve create jobs for our youth, but it will improve the economy of Nakuru. As you know, Nakuru is a city. That is what I could remember. And lastly, not forgetting our airport.
Yes.
And she literally said that we missed out some of important programs in Nakuru County because there was no airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so we've talked about Itare Dam. This was, I think, part of the ask that all Nakuru leaders, led by Governor Susan Keheka, spoke about.
Yeah.
You will remember Itare Dam was a flagship project of the Jubilee government when Uhuru was president.
Yes.
It is one of those projects that stalled, and it was actually a very big project. I remember it was a conversation that was had during either the last years of the former governor, Kenodia Bogwa, or the beginning of Lee Kinyanjui's term as governor. It was such a big project. I remember having conversations around it and how it would have changed, you know, Nakuru's water scarcity issues, starting from Kuresoi North, Kuresoi South, parts of Rongai, Nakuru East and West. And so that project stalled. Primarily due to concerns about graft. There were also issues around the people who are actually supporting that project. And so it was also important to hear from the governor requesting for the resumption of that particular project and the commitment from the president that this project was going to probably come back within this particular term.
Yes, yes.
Maybe tell us more about the trauma center from what you know. So as we also try to establish all these facts, I'm trying to also locate that particular speech that was made by Susan Keheka so that we can also inform people that these were the particular issues that were presented to the president, and then we will discuss what the president agreed to do.
Okay. What I know about Nakuru County, especially Nakuru City.
Yes.
Not being just a city is not a city only. It is a city whereby other counties transit through, going to the big city that is Nairobi and other areas like Mombasa and even outside the country. So you find that Nakuru County serves neighboring counties, be it in health, be it in matters agriculture, be it in matters infrastructure, that is transport. And this trauma center was thought of so that it can help even other counties that are neighboring, like Baringo, like Kipia. You find if when people transiting through the highway, there's a lot of road carnage, but currently they have been reduced because of the dueling of the gutters of and that road.
Yes.
So you find that during those carnage, PGH was somehow overwhelmed. So that is why the thought of the trauma center came in so that it can help the accident victims and other patients that need services of the trauma center. Yes, from even the neighboring counties.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've managed to locate that particular speech, the one that was made by the governor. Perhaps I'll just, mention some of the key points that were mentioned in that particular visit. The governor spoke of the county government of Nakuru being operating 219 public health facility that are complemented by 16 primary healthcare networks. And of course, she mentioned about the community health promoters, the CHPs. This trauma center, I think, was a flagship project under the Kibaki administration. I remember it was during that fire, the tanker that overrolled and people actually...
At Sachangwan.
Yes, in Sachangwan. I think that is when that project was mooted. And so they began construction because they felt it was important to have a trauma center unit at the PGH or level 5 hospital in Nakuru. But then that project never took off. I have information that they constructed the structure. It was not complete, but I think it is still ongoing. So this was also some or part of the ask that they presented to the president. And we will be discussing that shortly about what also the president agreed to.
And Patrick, before you continue,
Yes.
I would commend our governor plus other leaders. When you find a project that started, you continue that project. You don't leave it hanging so that the wananchi can benefit from their tax.
Yes.
Yes.
And so do you also think that sometimes, is it also structured, are the county government structures structured in a way that sometimes it's hard to complete these projects within a certain time frame? Is it that we undertake major projects that can't fit the 5-year term, or maybe we start a 5-year project well in, so that then you also use that to go back to the electorates and talk about them giving a new position? What do you think is the problem? Because every governor, every successive government has been talking about, what do you call it? Wage bill. And also we inherited. You remember even when President Ruto and Gachagua got elected, they talked about inheriting a dilapidated system.
Sure.
That is the same clarion call across even county governments, where people will talk about, we inherited these projects that were not complete. And so sometimes people choose to either complete the projects that were not complete or start their own. Okay. So what do you think is the problem? As a leader, as a politician, someone who is involved also in part of the planning and policy issues in Nakuru County. Why do you think that is?
What I know, sometimes it's difficult to continue a project that started off when you're not there, because you might find there's also issues of budgeting. And maybe another constraint could be maybe there is no correct papers. So you don't know how this project, the amount that was used, or maybe there was misuse of money in that project. So if you continue that project, you'll be continuing that misappropriation of funds. So the best thing that a leader can do maybe to wait, first the auditor check, make sure the paperwork is well, so that they can continue with the project. You can't just go into projects without knowing the nitty-gritties of them. That is why that is my thinking, why some of the projects are left and others are being taken over immediately.
Okay. I think we will take a break before now we go into the priority projects that were requested by Governor Susan Keheka. Remember, we are trying to unpack Nakuru's bag of goodies.
Yes.
This past week, there was a delegation that went and met President Ruto in State House, Nairobi. This delegation composed of elected leaders led by the governor herself and most of the MPs and MCAs, opinion leaders drawn from Nakuru County, and even religious leaders.
Sure.
And so this whole meeting was for Nakuru County to present like a common standpoint about the issues that they wanted to be addressed. For those who are watching us on TikTok, I see comments. They are not able to get us very well on the audio, but please bear with us. Remember, the conversation is also live on YouTube, is also live on Facebook. You can tune in Nakuru TV across all platforms. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. We will be taking some of your comments, some of your concerns, some of your views. So if you have a question to Linda or any one of us, please write them down hapo kwa comment section. We will take a short break, but we will be right back. This is Nakuru Tusemezane. Back. This is Nakuru Tusemezane. Today we are having a conversation about the recent meeting by Nakuru leaders to State House. We are just trying to unpack some of the requests that were made by that delegation and what the president committed to. Today we are hosting Linda Kageha. Linda Kageha is the director of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nakuru chapter. Asante for having you. Karibu sana.
Asante.
So we'll go straight into some of the requests made by the leaders. So one of them was the dualing of the Rironi Mau Summit Road. And so what can you say about that particular barabara?
Okay. First of all, I've used the Nakuru-Nairobi highway.
Yes.
And it is likely like on Fridays or when there's major events, you'll sleep on that road. And this has caused people who are flying out. This has caused people who have got maybe deliverables of perishable products. This has caused even people who've got important meetings. Especially, you can plan maybe from in the morning, you're coming from Nakuru, going to Nairobi for a meeting at 8. You might not reach Nairobi at 8 because of a jam and other challenges on that road. For me, I I really support the building of Rironi Mau Summit Road. It will be a game changer for Nakuru, especially in the coming years. This is a long-term project. It's not a short-term project. It's a long-term. This will help Nakuru and its environs and other counties in the coming maybe 10 to 15 years. So I really love that that idea, and I hope the way the president said he will launch the road in August, let it take off. Yes.
Yeah, so part of what the president talked about was actually even the design. You
Yes,
remember him mentioning that it will be a 4-lane highway.
Up to Naivasha.
Up to Naivasha.
And then 6.
Yes.
6
And so,
lane.
so we've been trying to also try to internalize how this will be. That road, now it's a 2-lane road.
Sure,
you have one for oncoming traffic and the other one, but then a 6-lane highway.
Yes.
Could you even envision that and how that will work and how that will also reduce the travel time, as we've mentioned? The fact that people have been stuck on that particular barabara for the longest time. And so we are just trying to also imagine how possible that is, that it will be a 6-lane road from Naivasha all the way to, I think, some area in Mau Summit.
Sure.
But I think you also mentioned that, so it will take 4-lane from Rironi all the way to Naivasha.
Yes.
And then the Mai Mahio road will also be, I think, dual.
Yes.
And so across board, so we are looking at 4-lane, and in some areas, especially where there are towns, there will be interchanges, and also it will like be a 6-lane highway.
Sure.
So we are talking about a project as big as Thika Road, maybe.
Yes.
Come to think of it. And he also said that he is going to launch the road sometime, I think, in the start of September.
August.
Oh, yeah,
I
August,
remember
yes.
yeah.
It was supposed to actually start in July, but now that is going to happen in August. So for those who are watching us, tell us what you think about that particular project. It was an ask that was presented to the president, and the president actually committed that construction is going to start sometime in August. Within the month of August, they're going to do, is it the launching of the road or the construction? But that is going to happen
The launch.
In August. So that was one of the things that the delegation had requested for commitment. And actually now the president was able to tell the delegation that that was going to be scheduled and it was going to be launched. And as you said, I think that's one of the flagship projects.
Yeah.
And I also know politically how all these things have been. And so do you think that particular road, that particular project, because he also mentioned that that project is to take a period between now and 2027.
Sure.
And remember, in 2027 is when we'll be having, the elections. So do you think that road has the potential to also turn the tide politically for him?
Yes, if it will be, if it will take off and implemented. No, if it will not take off. Yes, but what I believe that project is very important for Nakuru and other road users, other counties that uses that road, that is from Western, from Nyanza, and it will prevent the users of that road from different challenges, especially accidents, because there have been a lot of cries on that road that there have been carnages on that road and a lot of cries from the users of that road, even causing fear. Some people don't use this road. Me, I have a friend who, when he comes to Nakuru, they use the Ravine Road. Yeah, they fear the Sachangwan Salgaro area. Yes, so I believe it's a game changer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we will follow up with that. We'll be checking to see when that project starts. And as you said, it's going to be a game changer. with the potential of also turning the tide against, political tide,
yeah.
whether for or against the current administration, that remains to be seen. But that is something that the president actually committed to and promised that he's going to do the groundbreaking for that particular project. And he also mentioned that they've spoken to the lead contractor to ensure that that project is complete by 2027.
And I believe, Patrick, when there's improved infrastructure, that is improved roads, there'll be access to markets. And Nakuru is an agricultural county. So there'll be easy access of products from the farm to the market. And a lot of investments. When a place is improved infrastructural wise, you'll find a lot of investors coming in, because we shall have even other upcoming industries like the hotel industry coming up. Because of the improved infrastructure. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So the next ask or the next request from the leadership that went to meet President Ruto was obviously the approval for deployment for Kenya Armed Forces or the Kenya Defense Forces for the completion of Afraha Stadium.
And Olenguruoni Stadium.
And Olenguruoni Stadium as well. And so we'd like to hear your insights about that, about why that came to be, because last we checked, construction of Afraha Stadium was started during Lee Kinyanjui's time as governor of Nakuru County. And we were told that it was a World Bank project that was fully funded. It was part of what we used to lobby for the city status as Nakuru. Because I think among the requirements for upgrading to a city was having a proper stadium for that municipality to be elevated. Why did you think we needed to have Kenya Defense Forces involved in the construction, yet we have a contractor?
Okay, my think is like the Olenguruoni Stadium, it has overstayed the period of its start and going forward. So I believe it was wise for our governor to go and seek help from the national government to come and help in the start of that project and completion of it, especially, and also fast tracking that project. That is, I believe, she had, in accordance of her wisdom, she thought of seeking for help from the national government to help in the completion of that project. And that is why she went to lobby for it. If she had powers or if she had the enablers, the ability to complete all the two projects, she could have done that without seeking for or lobbying for it.
So for those who are joining us now, we are just unpacking Nakuru County's bag of goodies. Remember, Nakuru County leadership, across board, opinion leaders, normal people, normal wananchi, kawaida mwananchi, elected leaders, elected MCAs, went to present, to see the president and, of course, present a united front in terms of the things they wanted the country, or rather the country's president, to do for Nakuru as a county.
Patrick,
so, yes.
Maybe on comment on the Afraha Stadium. Afraha Stadium is almost complete. What the president said he will do for the Afraha Stadium is to nest it so that it, where the World Bank funding did not touch. So the nesting of the Afraha Stadium, that is what I
think
heard.
it's important. It's important to provide that clarification.
Yes.
So, because I was also wondering, why do we need KDF to do this, yet we have a contractor who was paid, and we actually even know how much money was pumped into that particular project.
Currently it's open.
Yes, it's open. So that's a good clarification. So this is number 2. The number 2 request that was presented, and the president actually confirmed that they are going to send Kenya Defence Forces to do the completion of Afraha Stadium. So the Afraha Stadium, of course, we all know how that came to be. It was expanded, it was modernized. But then with commitment by the president about sending the Kenya Defence Forces is to now nest it, or more or less to provide like a shade that will go all round, so that it also gets to the international certifications that we needed. Remember when the governor was talking about Afraha Stadium, she mentioned about the fact that we had these CHAN games that that counties were lobbying for, and Nakuru missed out partly because we did not have a proper stadium, and we also didn't have an airport. And so, which also takes us to the next request, which the delegation presented to the president. So it was now the resumption and completion of Lanet Airport. That project started during Lee Kenyanjui's time. There was a budgetary allocation towards, the first phase of that particular project. But for some reason, things didn't go as we expected. So the date of completions, they've had to push it. And I don't know what you think about it. Could you perhaps maybe just explain to the viewers what the president said about that particular request?
Okay. Also, on that project, he agreed to complete it. And what I remember is that he said he'll close the Lanet Road, whereby to avoid distraction on the use of the Lanet Dundori Road, if I'm not wrong. And I believe when we have an airport or an airport in Nakuru, just like Eldoret, they have one, and Kisumu, we shall, instead of using the road, maybe it from Nakuru to Nairobi could take 15 minutes, if I'm not wrong. It could take 15 minutes. This could help in the transportation of perishable products, especially flowers. In sub-counties like Rongai, they grow flowers and they use the road. So you imagine if they find a jam on this road. So this will help out. And also maybe we have visitors who don't want to use the road as a means of transport. Maybe they're coming for a conference, they are coming for tourism activities. So that airport idea will be very ideal. Even me, I'll use it. I would love to exploit.
Having an airport is a nice thing to have as a county, I think. And it also adds to our, a cap in the feather for Nakuru as a city and Nakuru as a county. So, that was also a request that was made to the president about the completion of the Lanet Airport. And so the reason being, this is a project that is very dear to people. Of course, it will expand market access, it will boost tourism, it will also help in terms of our identity as Nakuru City.
And also increase our other opportunities that come with an airport. We have other opportunities that come with an airport. So as Nakuru, we don't want to be left out, and we are called a city. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's important that we've mentioned that. The president alluded to the fact that they've had challenges with the contractor who was given that particular project. He talked about that particular contractor having issues because I think they were awarded like 3 contracts, one in Lanet, the other one in Nanyuki, and some other, I think Wajir or some other place. And so he actually mentioned that they've had challenges with that particular contractor as far as that goes. He also mentioned some bottlenecks around how the military wants to, because it's that particular airport will be like in a military installation.
Sure.
And so they're also trying to vary the designs so that they can have a public access point so that people don't have to use the military entrance. Yeah, but the Lanet Airport, that is, I think, a done deal as far as what the president said. We are waiting to see We are waiting to see how that goes. But I think it was important for them to also mention that this needed to be done as soon as possible.
What I believe, Patrick, as we wait to see, let us, as wananchi or Nakuru County residents, have goodwill to the leadership, because when we make things smooth for the leadership, these things will happen. But if we make it harder for them, we shall wait and see. We shall continue waiting and see.
All right.
Yeah.
But then again, people have something we call professional skepticism. Now, what they've decided that they'd want to be really convinced, and they can only be convinced if they see these things happening. So I think the impetus is on the national government to follow up and make sure that some of these projects work has also started. So we've talked about also the resumption and completion of the construction of Itare Dam to ensure a steady supply of clean and safe drinking water for the people of Nakuru. I think that one we will not belabor the point. They confirmed that that project is going to be commissioned very soon.
And there were talks with the Italian
contractor. I think those are the benefactors. Those are the people who are actually funding that project, I think. And so there were some issues, there were some bottlenecks, but they confirmed that it's going to resume really soon.
Sure.
There was another request, which was the groundbreaking of the Naivasha-Nakuru SGR link, which was meant to add to the mobility master plan of Nakuru County. That one, I'm not sure whether the president talked about it, but it was one of the requests that was presented by the delegation, that they needed the Naivasha-Nakuru SGR link to be complete. And I think this is in part because the SGR phase 3 terminated at Maimahio.
Yes.
So there was a link that I think was done between SGR, Maimahio and Naivasha. And so this was a request that was presented. I'm not really sure if there were any confirmations about the possibility of that happening. Maybe if anyone is in the know, tuambie hapo kwenye comment section. But it was also a request that was made.
Sure.
This one now, I think, allocation of 100 acres of Kenya Airports Authority land to be given to Nakuru County for construction of an economic promotion zone. So they also mentioned about the fact that the national government is undertaking the affordable housing project on that particular land and will require amenities including a hospital, a school, and an EPZ. So for those who don't know, there is land, I think, in the pipeline area of Nakuru County. This land belonged to the Kenya Airports Authority. It is where, I think, when we had issues with internally displaced persons, that is where I think they were settled. So that land belongs to the government. It belongs to the Kenya Airports Authority. Remember, before we had the Lanet Airport idea, initially it was supposed to be constructed around pipeline, but there was an issue with the migratory corridor of birds within this place. And so it was deemed not to be really safe. So they opted for a more secure location, which I think was the Lanet Airport.
Sure.
So this land that, I think it was 800 acres, if I'm not wrong, 800 acres. So the county requested for 100 acres of that particular land to build an economic promotion zone. Now that you're a director of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, perhaps tell us what that means. What does an EPZ mean, and what does that portend for the county, and what normally happens within that?
Okay. An EPZ means that the economy of that area will become vibrant because there will be setup of industries, and these industries will not only create jobs, help in creation of jobs, it will also help in harnessing our products and improve value adding our products for either internal use or export. So it depends.
So do you think that has the potential to really transform livelihoods around Nakuru?
Very much, very much. It will employ a lot of people. It will encourage maybe agricultural produce, like if it is the textile industry, the growth of cotton and other textiles, and if it is other industries, we shall have maybe the growth of maybe products like avocados. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a request that was made. The allocation, it was a request by the county government for them to get allocation of 100 acres of land that belongs to the national government, specifically the Kenya Airports Authority. This land was requested to enable Nakuru County government to do the construction of an economic promotion zone. And so they also talked about the national government undertaking the affordable housing project on that particular piece of land. And so the county was requesting this piece of land to ensure that they provide amenities like a school, a hospital, and that particular economic promotion zone.
I believe, Patrick, as people work in an industry, they'll have somewhere to reside, and apart from that, we shall have. They will require the amenities like hospitals, because there'll be maybe health checkups, schools for their children. So I believe the idea is viable, and what I believe as this nation, and as the county and the nation going forward, we need to advocate for such projects so that we can create jobs, especially for young people. Imagine if we have an industry that employs like 3,000 people. This will help even curb issues of criminal gangs coming up, and even improve the living standards of the people of that area. Yes. So I'm very supportive. I believe that is a great idea for the Nakuru residents to improve their livelihoods and issues of job creation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was request number 5, I think. And so the other request was the resumption of construction of Kiambereria, Chepsir, and Njoro Nesuit roads. These are 2 roads, I think, that were handed over to the contractor, but they've had issues. If you're watching us from any of those areas, please tell us on the comment section whether there has been any change. Of course, the president now confirmed again that that project was given the green light, especially the Kiambereria Chepsir Road. And I also think he mentioned the fact that the area MP for Kuresoi North has been really bugging him, lobbying for that particular Kiambereria Chepsir Road. There's also the Njoro Nesuit roads that have both stalled. I think this was part of those requests that were made to His Excellency the President to possibly ensure that the projects now are revived and are back in action. And I think he confirmed, especially about that Chepsir, Kiambereria Chepsir Road and Njoro Nesuit roads. So he confirmed that those were good to go. It was only because of the weather that the contractor had not yet come to the site. So we will keep an eye open for that and ensure that we see whether that happens and whether these were just promises or just the politically, polite things to say, because now that was also like a very big delegation. So we've also touched on the resumption for construction of the trauma center at the Nakuru Teaching and Referral Hospital. That was begun by the national government, but it stalled. We mentioned that it started during Mwai Kibaki's time when we had that tragedy of Sachangwan fire tragedy. That is when that project was mooted, but it stalled along the way. There was also the request for, power, electricity, and the boosting of connectivity around the county. And I think that is of particular interest because they said that Nakuru County is the home of geothermal power.
Yes.
But the local residents do not have a thing to show for that. It's a natural resource, we agree. But then, by the fact that Nakuru sits on such large deposits of geothermal energy, it means then that either the Nakuru residents ought to also benefit in some way from that particular resource.
Sure.
So I don't know what was your opinion about what the president said about that particular issue of boosting electricity connectivity across the county.
Okay, I don't know if, according to me, I don't have much information on if there is conversion of that gas into electricity. I don't know. Yeah, but the president agreed on that proposal, and he said, as a residents of the area where there's maybe such a natural resource, they need or they ought to benefit from that, from subsidized electric power charges. Yes.
I think my director is motioning to me that we should go for a short break. Remember, we are having a conversation. We are trying to unpack Nakuru's bag of goodies coming hot on the heels from that State House visit by Nakuru County leadership, together with opinion leaders from Nakuru County. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in, watching us on Facebook, watching us on TikTok. I'm not sure if they can hear me, but if you can hear me, asante sana for joining us. Please tell us where you're watching us from, where you're tuned in, and if you have a question, please share it on the comment section. We'll be reading some of those responses. We'll go on a short commercial break, but we will be back shortly. Welcome back to Nakuru Tusemezane on Nakuru TV. Asante sana for everyone who's joined us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on TikTok. Leo tuko TikTok live and also on Instagram. Asanteni sana for joining us. Today we have Linda Kageha, who's a guest. She's a director at the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Nakuru chapter. She's joined us today to help us understand the recent visit by Nakuru County leadership to State House and the promises that were made, and whether those were true promises or they were just politically correct things to tell people. So we are just trying to analyze those conversations and also what was promised, what was requested. And we've dealt with most of what Nakuru County really wanted and what the president also committed to. We don't want to forget that he also mentioned his scorecard, which I think was also like a very brilliant way of trying to tell people, you know, you got me into this position. And so these are some of the issues that I had promised to do. This is what I've been able to do during this particular period. I remember him talking about health, and on the health issue, he mentioned about SHA. Briefly, if you could explain so that the viewers also understand, could you tell us some of the key points that you also noted during his speech? Not really about specifically Nakuru County, but what he has done or his government has done as follow up to his manifesto and what he's been able to achieve.
Okay. First of all, like on matters health, he really explained to the participants or to the audience why he chose SHA and left out NHIF. He said NHIF was very sick and he left it out and started a new insurance that is a SHA. And SHA is working.
Yes.
I don't know if you can attest to that SHA is working.
Personally, well, I've not yet been in a position to verify whether it's working or not. But this is what I'd say. We covered enough protests, in quotes, around when that particular platform was being launched in Nakuru here, because also I know people, I have family, some of whom were benefiting from NHIF before. And I think that transition period is where we had problems. But from what he explained, it seems like it is working.
Yeah,
but then
it
again,
is.
I cannot, again, rely on just what he says.
Yeah.
It also has to match what is happening on the ground. And partly why we are having this conversation is to also enable us, because we are also not custodians of all the information.
Yeah.
What we know is this is what he said.
Yeah.
So if he promised that this is working, perhaps anyone who's out there who has had an experience and SHA really came through for them, and you feel like it's working, just let us know. We'd really want to know about that. But from what the president said, that is what I want you to tell our viewers.
Okay. You encouraged Nakuru County residents to continue registering. Currently, we are at 35%.
35%?
Yeah. So to avoid the Harambe's health, on matters health, the president really encouraged Nakuru residents to register SHA so that they can benefit from the insurance. Also, another encouragement from the president, or what he has done, is to increase savings for the nationals. He said, like the NSSF, the contributions earlier on were 200 shillings per person. You find like a civil servant, if you work for about 35 years, or let me say 30 years, your contribution by the time you are retiring will be 100,000. You can imagine that money can't help you for even 2 years, 100,000. So he has increased that contribution to 6% of a person's salary. And he said, what I believe, and that is passionate from him, is that the monies that we borrow for investment from China and other countries, those are their savings.
Yeah.
And he really encouraged Kenyans to save, to have that, to encourage that culture of saving, so that we can use some of that savings to our constructions, as it, or even we can lend out to other nations. Why not?
Well, if I were to throw a spanner into the works, do you think then that the desire to ensure that Kenyans have a saving culture is not inspired by their well-being when they retire or their social security, but merely to ensure that Kenya has a steady, pot where government can actually get money to do projects?
Yeah, I believe.
What is the actual motivation? Because it's one thing to want to, get Kenyans to save, and it was very remarkable that you mentioned that since we got independence, the National Social Security Fund, up to 2 years ago, had only been able to, save an amount of money for 60 years. And this amount of money, now with the introduction, because initially people were contributing 200. It did not matter where you were, what position you held, but the contribution for NSSF was just 200. And so, and he gave examples of what is really happening around in Tanzania, where they have like a 10% of your wages or salaries going towards social security, and also Uganda. And so saying that across board, this is something that other nations have decided that this will be the percentage of our income that goes back to social security. But in Kenya, initially it was 200 bob, and they were able now to raise it from 200 shillings to 6% of your net income. So if you earn $1 million, 6% of that goes towards your social security.
Very true.
And so he mentioned something that really caught me by surprise, that within those 2 years, the money they've been able to save with this new law is almost the same money that we've been saving for the last 60 years.
Sure. Because even on that idea, I believe we shall use that money even for investment, because you can imagine borrowing money for investment and you pay with interest, and if you default, higher interest and other penalties. So I believe that is a viable idea, and it is taking shape, and it is operational. Another thing is another scorecard was on affordable housing, which is ongoing. At least you can see people going and occupying those houses. We in all the projects, we might not lack challenges, but he's really trying. On education, what I mentioned that I heard of him saying is that the release of bursaries to counties and making sure that education, we shall have quality education, as a nation. Yes.
Okay. So those are some.
And then on for cutting you short, on agriculture, the subsidized fertilizer, and what came in through for him, or what also helped him, is the provision of rains. Which really helped the production of produce. And you mentioned that the streamlining of sugar companies, is going for the rice industry, so that to streamline these industries from cartels. Especially he talked on a sugar company whereby they collect sugarcane from farmers, but they don't pay farmers, they don't pay staff. They go back to government to pay,
request for money to pay their workers and to pay for the cane.
So he has streamlined that sector by constructing or making sure there are new boards in place and making sure that farmers are being paid on time. It was 2 weeks. Yes.
I mean, those were very many issues. I think that meeting lasted anywhere from 3 to 5 hours.
Sure.
I'm not sure. You can tell us because you were there. But then, I mean, a lot was spoken. So many things were promised. It remains to be seen what really happens in the ground. And I think it's important to have, such conversations just to enable us also understand what is really happening, because not everyone was able to go to that particular State House meeting. And I also think that most of the issues that were discussed in that meeting also touch on the lives of ordinary people like us. And therefore, perhaps it's also important for us to get to know what really is going down. The president also touched on the insecurity issues, and he mentioned that he knows there was an issue around Lake Nakuru, where the disappearance of Brian. And he said that as the leader, he is also waiting for the processes, the court processes, and seeing how that will pan out. And he also mentioned about the recent skirmishes in London Ward, where police officers shot an unarmed person, and that person died. But he also went ahead and gave a very stern warning to the organized gangs within this particular area. I think it was a concern for the most people who went, that they felt it was important for the president to actually acknowledge that he knows what is happening in Nakuru.
These are issues of insecurity
Yes,
in
and
the
the
county.
issues of insecurity. And so he talked about equality equipping and making sure that the county security team is properly facilitated for them to do their work.
Sure.
Of course, in conjunction with the National Police Service. And so those were some of the commitments that we were able to also get from that whole, visit to State House by Nakuru leaders, Nakuru opinion leaders, and that. And so what we are doing today on today's show, we are just trying to unpack, make you understand, allow you to know that these are the things that were said, this is what was promised, so that as we also go to demand for accountability about everything that was mentioned, it's good that everyone has an understanding of how that came to be. And so we are going to really thank you. We are going to thank you for honoring our invite to just help us understand what were the issues, what were the issues pertaining to Nakuru County itself, and what were, that issue around the scorecard and how he was able to, really expound about what he's done, what he's yet to do, and what his plan is. Before we close, I also know you wear another hat, and I'd want you to tell us about the upcoming Nakuru National Show.
Okay. Thank you for that. We have the show coming up, and I'm in the marketing team, and I'm privileged. As I started off earlier on, I said when you get an opportunity, when I get an opportunity, I seize it. So in the show will be coming up early July, and on payments, the adults are pay 300, the children pay membership. They pay for the membership fees at the gate is 250.
These are for small kids?
For small kids accompanying the adults. Okay. But we have special parties like school children coming in uniform. They pay 200. Yes. Okay. And children less than 1 year, they don't pay. Okay. And you can be a member of Nakuru ASK we have different categories of monies for membership fees, and the list is 1,000. Okay. But we have also 2,000, we have 3,000, and going for upwards, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So welcome to the show. We are mid-June.
So
almost.
When is the date?
Yeah.
Don't forget to tell us when it's happening.
The date, let me just confirm the date.
Yes. And as you confirm, we want to give a special recognition to SS Digital on the YouTube channel. Ametuandikia akasema ana follow. The other one is our colleague Manoti. I think you know Manoti.
Yes.
Anasema watching from Afghanistan. Sijui alienda Afghanistan at what point. Checking on our TikTok platform. I can see someone saying, Angie, ameandika just got here. Thank you so much, Angie, for joining us on our live. This was like a test transmission on our TikTok page. We are going to make it better. It's going to be part of our offering in terms of platforms that we'll be streaming to. We have Becky saying, Kazi Safi watching live. This is on TikTok. And so also saying that this road will reduce accidents and time it takes to reach destinations. I think very that is important. In regards to that dueling of the Mau Summit, Rironi, Barabara. If everything goes on as planned, our economy will be great. Asante sana. Ken Kenya says, just got the number 2 gifter badge. Well, I think this is a TikTok thing, so ameandikwa pale number 2. That number 2 gifter badge. Asante sana Ken Kenya for the gift. Suleiman Batia anasema just got the number 3 gifter badge. Asante sana Suleiman, and he says he's watching from Kazakhstan. That is TikTok. Asanteni sana for joining us. This is our inaugural stream on that particular platform. We are going to make it better, obviously. We are going to make sure that we mainstream it And so Ken Kinya liked the live. Asante sana, Ken. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in to our TikTok channel. We'll be checking Instagram as well to see if we have viewers who've left comments. Yes, we have. Let me try and refresh that. Instagram, I can see. Yes,
okay.
yes.
As you refresh,
please proceed, yes.
As you refresh, I've just seen the show dates are 2nd July to 6th July. Yes.
And so this is no longer the Nakuru ASK show. There's a name change as well. Please tell us what that means. Because I was told it's Nakuru National Show. It's no longer about, we used to know it was about agricultural showcase. So it was agricultural show of Kenya or something.
Yes.
But now it's Nakuru National Show.
Very true.
Maybe take us through what that means and what people can expect, and also now give us the dates and the rates again.
Why national show is because we get exhibitors from all over Kenya, and we get like here in Nakuru, we get in the show, we get attendance from even as far as Narok, Bomet, Kajiado. So it's a national thing. So it's not to limit ourselves to Nakuru only to call it a national show as the other national shows in the country.
So does this mean that we've dropped the agricultural showcase, or what can people expect as we invite them to come?
It remains we have the agricultural part of it in the show. Even the main part of it is agriculture, showcasing, but we just dropped the name, but it's a national show. Yeah, like other counties, they call themselves national, like Nairobi National Show. Yeah.
Also,
Machakos National Show.
It was also time now for Nakuru to get to that point.
Yes.
Asante sana. So the dates again, and also the rates?
The dates are 2nd July to 6th July, and the rates for adults is 300. Children accompanying the adults is 250. For special parties are school-going children. When they come with a teacher, the teacher will pay, or the person accompanying them will pay 250, and the children will pay 200. Yes.
Okay.
And if you're a member of the show, maybe if you have a badge of or you've paid a membership of 2,000, you can go all around all the shows.
You can access everything.
All the shows in the country.
Okay. Sawa sawa. We've been talking to Linda Kageha. Linda Kageha is the director of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Nakuru chapter.
And before we go,
yes, these are your last thoughts as you also tell.
You asked me why I got or I'm in some of the positions at a young age. What I would encourage young people, if you have the skill and if you have the passion, go for these positions. Be a member of Chamber of Commerce, be a member of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, or any other body that is in, and go for those positions. You're not limited. Don't limit yourself. And I don't limit myself. Yes.
Yeah, so we've gotten some inspiration as well, that don't limit yourself. Go take these positions. Linda Kageha is a true testament to the fact that if you yearn and reach out enough, the universe will always give you what you want.
Sure.
She's a director of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She's also in the marketing department. Is it a department? The marketing section of the Nakuru National
The marketing
Show.
committee.
The marketing committee.
Yeah.
And that is besides the very many other hats that she wears. And so she has helped us today to unpack Nakuru County's visit to State House, promises versus progress. We're just trying to unpack State House bag of goodies for Nakuru County.
Yes.
Time has really gone. I'm not sure whether we will get to read all the comments, but thank you to each and every person who tuned in today. Thank you for tuning in to Nakuru TV. Thank you for watching Nakuru Tusemezane. Spread the word, obviously. And for those who will join and see this after the fact, please feel free to share in the comment section. Just tell us your ideas. We will try as much as possible to respond. But over and above, asante sana for those who tuned in from Instagram, for those who are watching us on TikTok, for for those who are watching us on YouTube and those who are following us on Nakuru TV's Facebook page. Asante sana. This has been your presenter, Patrick K. Prince, as we bid you goodbye this Friday. We will see you next Thursday with another edition of Nakuru Tusemezane. Asanteni sana, and thank you for tuning in.
Nakuru, speed and stability matter. That's why more homes and businesses choose Connect Data Networks, your trusted fiber internet service provider. Super fast speeds, reliable connections, flawless video, streaming and downloads anytime, anywhere. Need help? We've got your back. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Connect Data Networks, Nakuru's #1 choice for fast, reliable internet. Call us today on 07309888111 and get connected with the fastest internet in Nakuru. In Nakuru, speed and stability matter. That's why more homes and businesses choose Connect Data Networks, your trusted fiber internet service provider. Super fast speeds, reliable connections, flawless video, streaming and downloads anytime, anywhere. Need help? We've got your back. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Connect Data Networks, Nakuru's #1 choice for fast, reliable internet. Call us today on 07309888111 and get connected with the fastest internet in Nakuru. In Nakuru, speed and stability matter. That's why more homes and businesses